What's up guys, today we're going to check out Vista Lavendar in Bukit, Serdang. Let's go! So now we are standing right in front of the site, and this address is kind of weird because we are just one street away from Sri Kembangan, one street away from UPM, and right here we are in Bukit Serdang. And if you look into the site, this is definitely a hill because it's already called Serdang Hill. And coming from the city just now, we use Max Highway. We will drive past Olive Commercial Center before coming up into a steep road, and this will be the site already. Okay, so a few things to point out. It's like forest here. You can see the entire background of forest via the drone shot. We also noticed the pylon next to it, and apparently close to MRT stations. That's also true, but it's very close to UPM's MRT station. Okay, anyway, let's go and check out the sales gallery first, which is located in Bayan Club. You can hear from a distance, right? You have a lot of children playing around already. That's so cool. Let's get our coordinates right first. So this will be the site, Vista Lavendar, and we came out from Max Highway just now, coming out from the junction, going through Jalan Putra Bermain, Jalan Besar, turning in. Then we will have the Olive Commercial area somewhere here. The site is just right next to it. So besides that, we also have access via other highways like Sungai Besi Expressway and the North-South Expressway. And with the connectivity, actually this location is pretty connected to Bukit Jalil as well as Puncak Jalil. Therefore, we will get to enjoy all the amenities surrounding as well, where you have the Aeon Taman Equine, the NSK Sri Kembangan, we have Link 2 Pavilion from Bukit Jalil, IOICT Mall. Because it's literally one highway away, right? But what's very exciting here will be this, the recreational park, because this is directly next to the Bukit Serdang hiking trail, which is around 3 km away. Literally from the unit looking behind, right, we will be able to look at them. Then in terms of education, so this is very close to UPM, also very close to Uni 10, right? University Tenaga Nasional. Everything is just very close here. Therefore, we will explain why the product is designed in a certain way. This will be the scale model of the project we're going to check out today. We were standing right outside the hoarding just now, and this is the small road heading into the project itself. So you will come up somewhat like a hill, and there will be only one main entrance here, one in, one out. The total land area will be 4.56 acre. This is a freehold project, and there will be 270 units per block. So in total, that's 540 units. And in today's context, that's very manageable. That's not even close to high density. This is like borderline low density. When you come in from the guard house, every block will have their main drop-off via this roundabout, and it's decorated with all the landscape. So you have this sunken deck here. Very cool. So after you drop off, then you will reach your relevant lift lobbies. And something very cool that they highlighted to me is technically for every project there will be a 10% land area where they need to provide as landscape treatments, but in this project itself they are providing 19. So they are going beyond what's required in terms of local authority requirements, and that's always good news for the buyers. After dropping off, then there will be a basketball court, also like a tennis court here, a full-size one on ground floor. Residents will drive past that, and this will be either access into the car park area. So this will be the semicircle ramps cutting across level, and there will be two basements, and this will be the entrance to LG1 and this will be the entrance to LG2, and they've truly leveraged on the topography to provide such an access, and these are the best format in my opinion, because as we discussed in the channel a lot, we don't have to really go up the ramp so many times, right? The entire process of reaching your car park bay, right, is going to be way more pleasant in such arrangements. So the main difference between the first block and the second block is the difference in level. So this one will be starting from level 5, and the garden units will be located at the facility, But for this block then, there's one floor dedicated to all the facilities, like the multi-purpose hall and the gym will all be located on this side. Then you have the children play area here. You will have the children's pool. Then you will have the lap pool with the infinity edge at the side. And there will be also connection points between blocks via these pedestrian walkways. And it's also shaded, so that's great. But what's cool here, this will be the multi-purpose room. I guess they might be used for all the brand new activities. Either you want to use it for a co-living, or you want to work there, or you want to go and do some videos or whatsoever. I guess these can be all rented. And there are also some facilities around here below the block where you have your standard games room and you have your reading room and things like that. So all will be below the residence tower. So this is part of the rendering of the main drop-off lobby where you have that sunken deck details, and this will be connecting over to the basketball court. It's going to look super cool, and you will have the purple flowers which are going to be imitating their concept of lavender. That will be the main drop off, and this will be all the retail lots in the future. There will be like 2 or 3 only, and I'm not too sure if this is going to be translated into the real thing, but look at the little details of the curb that's very decorated. Wow, it's going to look super cool. And then we have the basketball court here that's going to be covered all the way with fence, so the ball don't go crazy outside, and the hedge is going to be all heavily decorated with landscape. And if you look into the entire project, right, that's going to be the main emphasis. That's why 19% instead of that usual 10% compliance in terms of landscape area. So after going into the entrance, going up via the lift, right, this will be the lift lobby. In total there will be 3 lifts servicing 10 units in total, and both towers are similar, and it's all single loaded corridor. It means that the corridor only serves units on one side, so in terms of privacy wise, it's going to be very good. There will be voids in between the units to provide ventilation for the internal spaces. And let's now look at the layout design, and this is going to take some time in explanation because this is where the team has attempted this kind of new format of flexible layouts that provides the elements of adaptability for the buyers. This is what I mean. So this is the floor plan for their unit. By default, it's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 886 square feet. This is when I come in from the foyer here. There will be a proper compartment for the kitchen itself tucked at the side, and it comes with a door, so that's awesome. Then this door here felt a bit weird because this is supposedly to be adapted into a dual key setting. By adding a partition here, suddenly this can be 2 separate units altogether to be rented out or to be used separately by your family and shared with yourself. Then going in, you will have the living and dining here, common bathroom on this side, and this is where it gets interesting. So currently now, you will have 1 bedroom here. This is the home office. This is bedroom 3, and this is the master bedroom with the ensuite. There are variations to it where, now as mentioned, you can actually use this as a dual key, where this is 1 unit, this is another. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to remain this as 1 room or you want to keep this as 2 bedrooms. Originally, all these walls will be erected and it will be changed after handover. Another format then, once again, move the walls in between the rooms and suddenly you will have 2 massive bedrooms. So there are a lot of potential, a lot of possibilities for the layout of this. So going into the unit, this will be a 990 mm clearance, and the height, this is going to be a 2.4 meters tall. So the entrance is rather generous going in. This will be the foyer, and as discussed just now, this is a rather important space because if you were to add this partition here, suddenly this can be a dual key unit where this is going to be the main core unit with 2 bedrooms or 1 bedroom format if you like, and this will be the other room that you can either rent out or use it for different purposes. Okay, so from an investment point of view, then there will be 1 door here. This will be a common area between 2 units. If you use this in total as a unit, also possible. The argument then becomes like this entire corridor space is somewhat wasted because in order to cater to this flexibility, now you have a lot of circulation space. Like, what can I do with this space. Going in, this will be the dining, this will be the living, and there will be no balconies here, which I felt was a bit wasted, but we will talk about that later. Tucked at the side, then this will be the kitchen space. So the floor to floor height here is somewhat 10 feet. It means when we measure, it's going to be around 2.9 meters in height, and the wall to wall width here is around 3.1 meters, but this is furnished, so this is added already, so it might be slightly wider than that a little bit. And the current selling price for this project per square feet wise is around 530 to 540 ringgit per square feet, but the selling price actually starts from around 450 to 480,000 for this build up of this freehold unit. So imagine if me and my girlfriend, we just want to get a house so we can kind of get used to staying together, right? We can get this first, where one side of the unit we can use as a studio, which is the bedroom, then this side living, then the other side can be a workstation since most of us work from home anyway. Then when marriage takes place, then we are having a baby, we can convert the workspace into the baby room, and by then there will be a lot more things to have around the house. You will need the stroller lah, you will need the luggage bag lah, whatsoever. Then we can use one of the space for utility. Maybe if we need a helper, also that can be the helper's room. We can always enclose back part of the studio unit, which is the bedroom area, as a workspace instead. That will be the work office. Then when this space is no longer sufficient, right, you can always move out, upgrade into a better one. Then this unit can be converted back into the 4 different units, and it can be rented out either by dual key format or by room format. And because this location is located very close to the highway, very close to the MRT, very close to the commercial area, very close to the university. That's why you have a Taman University. And if you realize, right, most areas around public universities, right, will have Taman University. It's almost like a universal thing across Malaysia itself. It means that there are a lot of student population, and they might be part of the potential target audience as tenants as well. So that's the beauty about this layout, but just it needs some time to get used to it. So from the dining hall going in, this will be the common bathroom, and this will be the basin, this will be the WC. They have not confirmed the brand of the toiletries yet. There will be a window here for ventilation purposes, full height wall tiles. But something very important to take note, as always, please always check with the salesperson on the furnishing packages, because these are things that will change, and it also depends on the sales packages. Sometimes you will have options on choosing fully furnished or partial furnished provided by the developer, or you can also opt not to take it. So please always check with the salesperson. After putting in the fridge here, this countertop here will be 1.45 meters, and this is around 3 meters, which is very nice. And here you will have your top and bottom cabinet. This will be windows, I guess, right? So this will be windows for your ventilation connected to the void area, okay? But there's no yard space. Instead, this will be the location of the washing machine. So this somewhat will be your laundry area. And coming out from there, so this current show unit is designed in a way where it's 4 bedrooms, right? So this is separated into 1 and 2, and you can anytime conceal this. Imagine if this is a workspace and I can just conceal one door up, then it's going to look very different. But for this discussion itself, this is used as a guest room or also a study area if you want to. And the best part is there's also access to ventilation and daylight. So this is very sufficient. So the size of the room is 2 meters by 2.9 meters. You can perfectly put in a queen size bed if you want to, but it's gonna be tight. But it's not like your usual +1 bedrooms where it comes without any openings at all. So this is different. And in terms of flooring, they are providing floor tiles, tile skirting as well, and it applies across the living space. Then this here will be the second bedroom. So the size of the room is 2.4 by 2.9, and there will be a window here, right? So there's a window panel here. I guess this is enough, because if too much, it also will increase the construction cost. But what's something to take note here will be the unit will come with a solid wall here. So this is the cabinet that is added on, right? So actually just now the 2.4 was actually measured from here. Actually it should be deeper, and this is the original setting of the unit. And buyers get to choose upon signing of the SPA on the configuration that you all prefer. So maybe you might want this wall to be erected first, and the partition of the other side to be hacked off, or you want this one hacked off, that one to be remain. You need to make that decision upon the signing of SPA. But it also depends on whether would you prefer to erect a wall or to tear down a wall in the future lah. So I think most likely if you are coming in as a couple without children, to leave both open first, because adding a partition is going to be way easier. But then this one now they are providing bricks wall first lah, but if you want to partition later, then it's going to be a different material. That's a beautiful part about this project, but there's also a lot of thought process to be considered. As we mentioned just now, this unit does not come with balcony, and the original format of the windows will be somewhat like this. So there will be several window panels like that. Personally, I don't like balcony, but just that in this setting itself, because it's facing Bukit, Serdang, a bit wasted. A bit wasted, but that's my opinion. Anyway, going opposite, then this will be the third bedroom. Well, it can be a baby's room. When you have a new baby in this format, it can be made into a sliding door, and this can be closed up as well, and this will be part of the studio unit to be rented out. Once again, the wall here will be fully erected originally, so it's entirely up to you whether you want to hack it later. But currently the interior format is catering to newlyweds lah. Okay, and here again you will have the window, and I like that with the thought of flexibility, every room still comes with its dedicated openings. Next to that, then this will be the principal bedroom if you are using this as a whole unit. If not, then this will be a studio unit to be rented out separately. The wall to wall width here is 2.96 meters and the depth is 3 meters, so it's still legit, just like a normal principal bedroom that we view outside, right? The clearance of 3 meters here is totally sufficient. After you put in the king size bed here, you still have a lot of space for circulation. That's great. You even have spaces here for your wardrobe, and it's going to look like a hotel unit because the toilet is also located within the inner walls instead of the facade, so they left the facade for spaces that are a little bit more important. So going through, then this will be the ensuite bathroom. Again, basin, WC provided, full height wall tiles, shower, and there will be a window that's frosted here. The rest are not provided, so please do take note. And what I like here again, that there's window here, there's window here, so that's sufficient window all around. Just that if this is used as a unit, right, this junction here then feels a bit awkward. Anyway, within the sales gallery, we are actually next to site already, so you can see, right, that's Vista Lavendar's site, and you can observe the topography is actually cascading upwards. So that's both good and bad. The sense of arrival will be very nice whenever you drive back home, but if your cars are modified, then it will create nuisance as you just whack the acceleration coming upwards. Next to the site there, that will be a brand new RSKU, Rumah Selangorku, to be provided in between the pylon, the high tension cable, and the project itself. To me, indirectly, it actually helps me block the high tension cable, so that's not necessarily bad as well. But something to take note here, another thing will be this retention pond in the front. So the developer currently are in conversations with the local authority in trying to make good for this, because this is part of the experience of Vista Lavendar, in my opinion. So whenever I come back home or in the evenings, right, I can actually bring my family out. In case the facility is not enough, I get to bring them into this garden here for strolling a little bit at least. So here you can either stroll within your facility, stroll within the retention structure, or you can go hiking at the Bukit Serdang, which is like a 5 minutes drive away. We will go and check that out later. But to me, there's a higher possibility of me visiting the commercial area to cari makan than to panjat Bukit lah. So I think if you were to walk out from the development, it's going to take like 10 minutes walk. But if you drive out, it's like a mere 5 minutes to this Olive Commercial Center. So this is several stretches of shop. By looking at it, mainly they will be all F&B oriented for now. So you will have your curry house here, Watson is there, then you have Burger King, you will have Family Mart on the other side. There will be dentists, there will be pharmacies, there will be offices and tuition centers on the upper floors, and those extends over to the opposite as well. So you will have all shops here as well. And driving around Olive Business Park, right, there are other parts of commercial areas within the entire neighborhood itself. And if you look around, the houses here have been around for some time already. As you can see that they are a bit older, but because of that, then you will get a very matured community where you have a lot of primary school, secondary school around the neighborhood. And we are actually located right in front of the entrance into the community trail of Bukit Serdang. Just that we need to pass through a guard house and it's currently drizzling, so let's not go there. It's going to be super exciting, and this is the same road away from Vista Lavendar. So if you're a fan of hiking, this is going to be a super bonus for you. And you just think about it, right? The amount of activities with your families are just in abundance. Now let's go check out the MRT station. And now we are right next to the UPM MRT station, and it's less than a 5-10 minutes drive away from site. It's going to be so convenient, and looking at the car park behind, it's pretty occupied actually. A lot of people are actually using this station to get into the city. So this is going to be an alternative if you work in the city, or in other words, this is how students are actually getting into UPM, because now we are pretty much in UPM territory already. And if you look around the site, right, everything is so green, it's so open. And I guess that's all for this episode. It's now time for Sean's Take 3 on 3. So the very first thing I like will be the entire setting of the project, where it's very close to things that we need as residents but not adjacent to it. What I mean is this, so like we are very close to the MRT station but not being connected to it, so we won't have the social issues and the security issues that comes with the convenience. Where I need it, I can still like drive 5 to 10 minutes, which is like a very short Grab drive away. The same applies to the commercial area as well. The same applies to the jungle trail as well. Also located within a very matured address itself. Looking at the architecture in the surrounding, right, all are very old, all has been around for a very long time. In other words, it's matured, where you have all amenities easily available within a driving distance away. Therefore, it gives the project a very nice setting where it's away from all the action, but it doesn't compromise convenience, just like the Max Highway access, right? Here, getting into Bukit Jalil, getting into the city, right, it's just one highway away. But I have a choice to actually travel to the city if I want to. If not, on normal days, right, I'll get to enjoy the mountain views from my unit itself. So that's a cool thing. The other thing I like will then be the very low density that is so hard to find. So that's very similar to the privacy setting and the entire serenity setting of the project. If you look at it, 270 units per tower, in total 540 units for 4.54 acres. It's actually very luxurious. And the entire entrance statement, if you need to go through a hill, then you need to go up, cascading upwards. So it gives you a very nice sense of arrival when you get into the project. And when you go up to your floor plate, there's only 10 units, which is 5 units a side with a single loaded corridor. So you only have units on one side. So it's really rare to find projects that does not maximize density or plot ratio all the way already. Then the last thing I like will be the architectural elements. First of all, they leverage on the topography itself. So the base, the car park experience is going to be pretty nice, where they have kind of the open basement typology where you get to directly access to the car park if you are parking at LG1 or LG2, so you don't have to really go up the ramp. Even if you need to go up the ramp, you don't need to go all the way, so now the journey to your car park is actually cut down very short. One of my favorite part will be, instead of just providing 10% landscape treatment, because of the cascading effect, someone need to provide more because they need a little bit more circulation pathway. As a result, they are providing 19% instead. So if you look at it from the ground floor lobby itself, there will be a centerpiece that is landscape, and it's also mentioned in the name Vista Lavendar, right? So that's going to be somewhat the concept around the facility as well. And of course, the main unique point of this project will be the very flexible format of layout, where by default you will get 4 bedrooms. You can actually transform it into a 2 bedroom if you want to, a dual key if you want to. So that extends the lifespan of the product within a family use. Also expands the range of tenants for the investor itself. So for example, if I'm buying this as a couple, so I can still use the room as a workspace, but when there's a baby coming, then I will convert the room into a baby room and a utility room, because there are a lot of things that comes with baby. Then when he's up, I don't have the room anymore, or I upgrade, right? I can just easily convert back into 4 bedroom itself. So that also adds on to the flexibility of renting out. I can rent out the whole unit itself, or I can rent out in dual key, or I can rent out room by room. However, that is also very close to the 3 points that I don't like. So first of all, because of the flexibility, for first time home buyers, right, it's pretty hard to grasp what's by default and what's after VP. It means that by default the walls will be in place, but it's entirely up to you. You must inform before you sign the papers on whether do you want to keep the walls or do you want to remove them. And if I want to add on later, we need to take note that it's not going to be brick walls as per se. Like if I were to do the partition later, most likely it's going to be a drywall system, and that's about it. Now, instead of just considering which block, which unit type, which floor height, right, now you even need to think about what's the default setting you want to receive the unit in. So that's one more process to think about for new buyers lah. Another challenge with this setting was also all unit will actually have the same typology. The only thing will be the after effect of the unit, where it's after the customization of the owner itself. So if you go into the second-hand market, then there's not a lot of variation that comes with it. So I'm not too sure about a sub-sale market when all units are the same, right? All second-hand units are the same. The second thing will be the micro side elements, where you have the RSKU that is coming up adjacent to the building. So I kind of prefer that to be in place because it's actually in between the pylon, the high tension cable, and the project itself. So that kind of takes away the damage a little bit, to at least have some buffer away for the project, away from the high tension cable, but it's not going to be blocking the main view of the hills. Then also right in front you will have the lake. Technically, they are already in conversation with the local authorities in maintaining and making good to the place, so it can be like a hangout spot for residents. I think that's going to be a very nice sense of arrival for all residents. When you turn in from the junction, right, you will have this beautiful lake. Unfortunately, that is a retention pond structure, so it's going to be like, currently it looks like muddy, right? So I really look forward to the end result where it's clean up, the landscape are all tidied up, right? It's going to be a very nice place to hang out. Then also next to the lake there will be a temple, a Chinese temple, also the STP, which is the sewage treatment plant, a small one next to it. So just take note on that lah. Another condition to take note will be the cascading effect. So yes, it gives you the very nice sense of arrival, but cars will all need to whack on the acceleration. So if they are modified cars, unfortunately, there will be the noise of acceleration going into the project itself. Yeah, especially if the site is so quiet. And last but not least, the site is actually very matured, but it feels like it has been a while since there are any brand new developments. But I'm very glad to see that the MRT is running and there are a lot of buses currently in operation. So there are a lot of people using this. So the main reason why I say this is because the restaurant right in front, the multi-story one that looks old. So every time you come out, you look into the old building. If you go into the commercial area, everything just feels old. But that's the characteristic of an old matured address. So you get all the convenience like schools, like banks, like tuition center, like whatsoever. So perfectly you can raise a family already. There are existing communities around. And I guess that's all for today. Do I like this project? Definitely, because for the price of around 450 to 500,000, right, you get 800 over square feet that is flexible in layout. You can really customize to your exact needs. And if you are just working around proximity, right, it's a very good alternative in comparison to the convenience-oriented projects. So we always want TOD, we always want mixed development, we always want convenience, right? This one, it's a little bit different. This one, they kind of prioritize privacy and serenity a little bit more because you have the backdrop of Bukit Serdang. You are located slightly away from urbanism, but you still have all the convenience, but a slight drive away. So it depends on what you want. And I guess that's all for today. If you really like this episode, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Serdang. Ciao.